Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to show you how I can my tomato juice today. It's a little bit different than most people that I've seen. I don't boil them, like hot boil them and take the skins off or anything like that. I boil them. I cut them up into quarters and I boil them, and then my machine de-skins and takes all the seeds and everything out for me. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this process. I've got them soaking here in some warm water just to kind of get them good and clean and make sure they're all nice and ripe and fresh and that we don't have any bad tomatoes in there. So let me go ahead and set this camera down here and I will show you how I quarter them up. And I'm just going to put the tops in the sink or in the trash, one of the trash bowls, and I'm going to put the quarters in the sink, and then I'll transfer them into my pan that I'm going to can out of, or boil them in, I guess I should say. So here we go. I have my trash bowl for the tops and any bad spots that I might see. If a whole tomato is not bad, I don't waste that tomato. I just cut the bad spot out. So I just cut it into 4 pieces like this and then just set it down in the sink. It's a little bit tough. Let's see if I can find one that has a bad spot on it so I can show you. Like this one here, I don't know if you can see from that far away, but there's a little brown spot there. So what I would do is I would just take my knife and put a little hole and then just cut that little bad spot right there out and then cut the top off. And then go ahead and quarter it up as normal. These are really juicy. Okay, so I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me cut this entire sink full of tomatoes. I will come back and show you once I get them in the pan what happens next. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have all of my tomatoes chopped and ready to be boiled. So I'm going to put them on the oven. And I use a gas stove, so I'm going to do like medium high. And I use a wooden spoon for this. I kind of like to kind of smash them up a little bit and kind of stir them around at first before it gets real started. And then I'll come back in a few minutes once there's some actual juice to stir around to keep it from scorching the bottom. I have already got out my canning set for pouring the juice in with the funnel and stuff. I'll have to go get my jars in a minute, but I'll wait till I get closer to getting ready for those. And then I'm going to bring you over here a little bit and show you how I set up the juicer. And please ignore the trash down there. It's trash waste, so I'll have to get that taken out in a moment. So this is a food strainer and sauce maker from Presto. I got mine, well actually it came with the house, but I have a second one that we have at my mother's house that came from Rural King. I think they're like $49, but you can get them at like Walmart and Target and places like that too if you don't have a Rural King in your area. Okay, so that just screws on to your bar or counter or whatever you want to put it on to. And then next I go ahead and attach the handle. You just, it'll only go one way, so you just slip it on and then screw on the tightener, and then you have your handle ready. The next piece that I like to put on is the grinder attachment. Let me see if I can maybe bring you guys around this way so you can see. There you go. Now maybe you'll be able to see a little better what I'm doing. This is the grinder attachment. It'll only fit on one way too. You just slide it till it fits on, and it'll pop back out. So you just push this piece on, and there's some little notches that are cut into that you just have to kind of find. And then I like to hold it with my other 2 fingers until I get this screw piece, and then you just screw that on tight. And you want to make sure it's good and tight or your juice will leak out of there. And you have to have good O-rings on here. I've never replaced mine, so sometimes it leaks a little bit, but that's probably something I'm going to do in the near future. This piece here can either connect directly to this, or you can put it in there and then put the top on. This is where your tomatoes will go into. This piece here collects all of the bad stuff, all of the peels and the seeds and stuff like that. This is the safety cover that goes over top to keep the juice from splattering all over you. Here, and it works really easy. You just pour it in and turn the handle, which I will show you when we get to that point. And I'm going to bring you guys over a little closer, see if I can maybe... I don't know if you're going to be able to see because the pan is so tall, but I ended up having a lot of tomatoes in that sink. And I'm going to have to do another batch because I do have more that I just picked yesterday or the day before, and I have some that are out there that need to be picked now. So I will have to do at least one more canner, I'm sure, which I may do that as salsa instead of juice, but I wanted to get you guys a good video going. So, okay, that's not really turned into juice quite yet, so it will take, I'd say, a roughly 10 to 15 minutes to get a good juice going. And once I have a good juice going and it's nice and hot, that's all I need, because the grinder is going to chew it all up and squish all that juice out. So I will let these boil and keep an eye on them, and I'll be back with you guys in just a little bit to show you the next step. Okay, so my tomatoes are ready to be turned off. So they're looking really good. They're already really juicy. And I went ahead while I was waiting on that, and I washed my jars, and they are sitting in water that is turned up on high to boil. And I usually heat my jars in the oven. You've seen it before if you've seen my canning video on green beans. But since I'm doing a warm bath canner, I figured I'm going to have the water hot anyway. I'll just boil them warm. So now I have a 4.5 cup measuring cup, and I'm just going to dip out a few. And I take it over here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I take it over here and I just pour it in. And I push as I turn, and all of the juice comes out. And I just do this until it's empty, and I'll repeat my steps all over again. And what you come out with is a nice bowl of juice. I'm not real sure how much juice this is going to make, so I just started with 4 jars. I may have to get more, but these look like they're going to be really, really juicy. That would be really nice, then I can make more salsa for sure. And if it looks like it's not going through as well, or it's getting clogged up, you can turn and go the opposite direction, and it will go ahead and spit it through. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring you over and show you what I'm talking about, why I don't have to peel and core. This here is all of my peels, my cores and my seeds, and it will just continue to come out. Until it falls out the end. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get another cup load. You can see I've already got a good amount of juice from less than 4.5 cups, because that wasn't even full. And my phone is going crazy. This here's about 4 cups. So and be sure to pour slowly. This is very hot. And you don't want to get burned. Okay, so I went ahead and put that in there. You can actually, before you even start turning, you can just push and get a lot of juice out. So I'm going to go ahead and start turning. Get all this. That was mostly all juice. It wasn't a whole lot of actual tomatoes. As you can see, everything's falling out. You've got the peels here. You can see the peels came right on out. None of it's going to end up in my juice. So that's my quick and easy little tip on how to not have to peel it. I'm all about saving time. I'm not going to make you stand here and watch me do every bit of this. I'm going to go ahead and get it all of them juiced, and I'll come back and show you how I put them in the canner and add the salt and stuff. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, so I just real quickly cleaned up my measuring cup again, and I'm just going to dip out the juice, and then really slowly. I put a towel down to prevent messes, and when you bring out a hot jar, you don't want to risk it breaking by putting it on a cold surface. So it's kind of a neutrally warm surface with the towel. Okay, so we're just going to fill all of our jars like that, and then we will add in the salt. I used 1 tablespoon of salt for every quart jar. And if you're doing pint jars, use a half a tablespoon. I use more salt. So I'm not real sure what's going on with my actual camera. It keeps telling me my memory card's full when it should have plenty of memory. So I'm going to go ahead and use my phone, so this may be a little off. But I use 1 tablespoon of salt for a quart jar and 1/2 a tablespoon for a pint jar. I use more salt in my tomato juice than I do in my green beans. I don't know, tomato juice just seems to be better with a lot of salt. So that's why I do that. And I think I'm going to have right at 3.5. So I'm going to go ahead and seal this. Looks like it's actually a pint, so I may go ahead and just throw it over into a pint jar. But I'm going to end up with 3 quarts and 1 pint of tomato juice, and I'm going to put them over in this warm bath canner. So give me just a minute to get this put over into a pint jar, and I'll be right back with you. So I got my lids and rings on, and I set them over into my warm bath canner. It has a little bit of water in it, but I think I'm going to add a little bit more, and I'm going to let them set in that for about 15 minutes. I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to wash up these dishes that are from the canning and get those put away. And when I get done with that and all of the scraps out, like the peels and things over here, all of this stuff taken out, the tops and the bad spots, once I get all that taken out and all my dishes done up and put away, that should be done and ready to come out. I'll pull it out, put it on that same towel, no sense in dirtying up another towel, and then it will be ready to set and pop. So that's my pretty simple, pretty easy way of making tomato juice without having to peel them and core them and all that hard stuff. So I'll be back with you in a moment to show you the after product. So as you can see, I got my jars out and they're sitting here. They've been tightened and now they just need to pop. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye here. I'm done with my canning for today. I may come back and do some more later in this week with maybe a salsa video. If that's something you're interested in, please leave it in the comments below and I will try to get to that. If you have a canning video that you would like to share, please leave a video response below. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you like these kinds of videos, and I will keep doing them. For now, have a good day. Bye.